Hey YouTube. All right. So while I was going through the cheese factories, I was thinking, what else can I do? And what I decided was it was a good day. I'm parked here. It's just noon. Is I should bake some white bread, and I'm going to use the cheeses for a little something special for tonight. So first I got to do make the bread here. What I've got going is I got some water. I got to proof the yeast, basically get it so that it's, because I bought some active dry yeast, which basically it's hibernating. It needs to have the water. I got some of the sugar in here. I'm using a cup of water, and I have a cup of sugar. Well, need a third of a cup of sugar. So I can put some of this back. I put some of the sugar in here, and we will get the yeast going. Basically, I just want that to be just warm. Put it in there. And let's see, 2¼ tablespoons of, or teaspoons of yeast. Tablespoons would be interesting. So there's the quarter. One, two, give it a little stir. All right, so now I'm going to leave this alone. Get an idea what it looks like. And it will, I'm going to leave this alone, let it go for a little bit while I have some lunch. This is going to, once the yeast will get activated, there's a little bit of sugar in there for it to eat, and it'll start to foam up, and then we go from there. So you'll know if your yeast is good if almost immediately you start seeing it foam up a little bit. Well, we're going to let this go for a while so that it really gets going. But if you don't start seeing foam after the first couple of minutes, I mean, you can let it go. But if it doesn't foam up, then either your water was too hot, or and it killed the yeast, or the yeast is old or dead. So the yeast I've got's good till December 2018, so I'll use that all up. But all right, so that's pretty much what you want to see after about 10-15 minutes. Nice and foamy. Yeast is really working. So now to this, I'm going to add the rest of the sugar and a couple tablespoons of oil. I'm using vegetable oil. You can use canola oil. The recipe calls for either. All right, so now I've added the 3/4 teaspoon of salt to the flour. I pulled a third of a cup aside, and I'm going to add this to the yeast, about a third at a time. Could have used a wooden spoon, but that way I don't have to do all this picking apart with the whisk, but you know, it's the way it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to take that flour that we kept aside and put a little bit here on the counter. That's one thing nice about having this marble kind of countertop. Now we got to knead all this dough together. So as I push it flat, fold it over, give it a quarter turn, push it flat, fold it over, give it a quarter turn. Basically I want to keep doing this till it's all one big mass. And you can always add more flour down here. You're basically adding this flour to it as you go. That's why I keep some out. You may want to add more as you go. You know, if I end up with a little, since sometimes you use more than other times. I want to keep doing this for a little bit, you know, until it's all smooth and see, I push down, it springs right back up. You see, it's not flattening out like it was in the beginning. So you know it's all starting to come together nice. That's what you want. Push down on it, pops right back up. So now I'm just going to form this into a ball. Take our bowl. A little bit of oil. Coating this a little bit. Get the oil up the sides. Now I'm going to cover that with a damp cloth and let it sit, let it rise up for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll check it after an hour and a half. All right, let's take a look. Oh, that's rose up nicely. See, it's about doubled in size. So now I'm going to form it up to over here to we'll get it in the pan, but I'm going to take some off for something special I want to do. So let's move over here. They put some flour out again just so it wouldn't stick. I'm going to cut off about that much. This is just going to be an experiment, something I want to try. this up. Might be a non-stick pan, but all right. So now we're going to let that rise up again for an hour and a half or so. All right, so let me cover that with a cloth. So we're going to cover these two up with the same damp cloth and set the alarm for another hour and a half, and hopefully this is going to rise up and fill that pan up so that it's high. And all right, so let's see what we got. Well, that's nice. It'd be nice if it was a little taller, but this will work, and this is just about right for what I want. Now I'm at the Blue Heron Cheese Company, and I picked up some nice smoked brie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this open if I can. Maybe I'll just flatten it out a little bit. What I'm going to do is open this up. A little special something for me for supper is I'm going to make a brie stuffed calzone, basically. Same mixture as the bread. Just got to seal it around the edges. We're going to bake this at 350 for a half an hour as soon as the oven comes up to temperature. And when it's done, I'll show you what this all looks like. Hopefully, if I pinch this together real nice, it'll stay, it won't ooze out. We'll see.
Found a hidden camera under the sink in a general neutral bathroom last October. 39-year-old Matthew Constantino is facing one felony count of invasion of personal privacy, but more charges are coming. He was arraigned.
Now we'll let that go for check it after 25 minutes, see how we're doing. All right, it's been a half an hour. Let's see what we got. Oh, that looks good. And so does that. That's my brie stuffed calzone, and this is my white bread. So I'm going to let this cool off a little bit. I'm going to wrap that up so it stays nice and warm, and I'm going to make sloppy joes and have sloppy joes on my nice fresh bread. Alright, so I got the bread I just cooked. Came out real nice. Little ground beef, onions, peppers, ketchup, vinegar, and brown sugar to make it that was what makes the sloppy joe sweet and sour. And then the brie stuffed calzone I did. That came out real nice. So, bon appetit. Well, there you go, YouTube. Today, basically, a couple of cheese factories, parked at one that does the Harvest Host thing, and bake some bread, and gonna have a nice supper and relax. And then tomorrow, I'll head farther north. So, see you later, YouTube. Okay, you see this sign behind me? You're going to see it again later this summer. But this is the longest road in America. This is the western end of Route 20. It goes all the way to Boston. So